We're good to go.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. So now that we have met our quorum, the Commission on Out-of-School Time Grants and Youth Outcomes is called to order at 6:13. Now, once again, as a reminder, as we are meeting virtually, if you would like to speak, please raise your hand or use the chat box to inform the panelists that you would like to speak, and I will go ahead and get you unmuted so that you can speak to the commission. The OST team will mute and unmute, as well as notify individuals when they can speak. If all commissioners are unmuted for a conversation, please remember to put yourself on mute while not speaking so that we can reduce the background noise. When making or seconding a motion, please remember to identify yourself for the sake of the minutes. And once again, all votes will be taken by roll call. The next item on the agenda is the public comment. I don't believe we have any public members that would like to speak today. Is that still the case? Okay, wonderful. Got it. Okay, so now it's time for the roll call so we can meet our quorum. Commissioner Berkey, are you here?
Present.
Thank you and welcome. Good to see you again.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. Commissioner Coates. Looks like we don't have Commissioner Coates just yet. Commissioner Crump, I know you're here.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Desir.
Good evening, here. Hope present.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Harrison. Okay, I'm not seeing in the chat yet either. Commissioner Hill, that we just spoke.
Present. I was on mute. Thank you.
No problem.
Chairperson.
Thank you. Okay. Vice Chairman Holland, looks like he's not here. Oh no, there he is. Hey, great. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Commissioner Jenkins.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Jordan. He looks like she's not on just yet. I'm present. Commissioner Peeler.
Here.
Thank you. Welcome. Good to see you again. Commissioner Safran.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Siegel. I'm not seeing her name yet. Commissioner Taylor. Okay, not seeing him as well. And Dr. Lowe.
Present.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. So today we have okay, 10 commissioners present with the addition of Dr. Lowe. So we do meet our quorum. Great.
And
Now
Commissioner, I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt, but Commissioner Coates just joined us as well.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Commissioner Coates. Welcome. Great.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Great.
Good
So now we
evening.
have 11 commissioners and Dr. Lowe. Wonderful. Okay, so the first item is to approve the agenda. We will vote on this again in roll call style. Commissioners, can you please take some time to review the agenda, and then whenever you're ready, make a motion to approve that agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda. It's Commissioner Peeler.
Thank you, Commissioner Peeler. Any seconds to that motion?
Second.
Thank you. And who made that second?
Vice Chairman Holland.
Okay, thank you. Gotcha. Sounds good. Okay. Commissioner Berkey?
Approve.
Approved, thank you. Commissioner Coates? Commissioner Coates? If we can come back to, or I'll take that as a abstain. Commissioner Crump?
Approve.
Thank you. Commissioner Desir?
Approved.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanson? Oh, he's absent. Commissioner Hill?
Approved.
Thank you. And Co-Chairman Holland?
Approve.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Jenkins?
Approve.
Thank you. Commissioner Jordan?
She's not here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Commissioner Peeler?
Approved.
Thank you. Commissioner Saffron?
Approved.
Thank you. All right. Great. So it looks like, with the exception of Commissioner Coates, this motion is unanimously approved. So the agenda passes. The next item is the approval of the minutes. Once again, please take some time to review the draft version of the minutes and let us know if there are any changes or revisions that need to be made. And if not, whenever you're ready, please make a motion to approve the minutes. Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion
Yep,
to approve
this
the
is
minutes?
Commissioner Berkey. I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Berkey. Any seconds to that
Commissioner
motion?
Saffron, second.
Thank you. Okay, wonderful. All right, and Commissioner Berkey,
Approve.
thank you. Commissioner Coates,
Present.
thank you. Would you like to vote to approve or deny the minutes?
I'm sorry. Approve.
Thank you. Okay. Commissioner Crump,
Abstain.
okay, thank you. Commissioner Desir,
Approved.
thank you. Commissioner Hill,
Approved.
thank you. Co-Chairman Holland,
Approve.
thank you, sir. Let's see. Commissioner Jenkins,
Approve.
thank you. Let's see, okay. Commissioner Peeler,
Abstain.
Thank you. Commissioner Saffron,
Approve.
thank you. Commissioner Siegel is absent. Commissioner Taylor's absent. Okay, great. So it looks like we have 2 that abstain and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 votes of approval. So this motion passes. Thank you for approving the minutes. Okay, great. So the next item on the agenda is the out of school time grants and youth outcomes updates. Kevin, are you ready to provide us with the updates from the office?
Yes, I am, Chairperson Peacock.
Thank you very much.
Alex, can you move the slide forward? Thank you. On behalf of the Institute for Youth Development, I'm very happy to announce that in fiscal 22, we met and actually exceeded our goals. We did provide 100 events, which achieved 100% of the goal that was established for our key performance indicators in fiscal 22. And we served 909 unduplicated attendees throughout the year, which achieved 113.6% of the goal for our key performance indicators. The Institute's team were already preparing to begin school year site visits again. We'll be starting to launch those probably in January, but we're already working with our consultants, and we have a couple of new consultants we're working with as well that'll help gear up and support the site visits. And the majority of those we're looking to do in person this year as well. We also launched the first of a series of the workshops from the Weikart Social Emotional Learning Series in October of 2022. We're super excited to finally be able to launch this series after such a lapse, during the pandemic, and have one of our consultants certified and trained by Weikart to deliver and facilitate the Social Emotional Learning Series. So those are a few highlights from the Institute for Youth Development, and happy to take any questions. Right, hearing none, I believe I'm passing this to my colleague Katrina for the grants update.
Thank you very much for your update. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thanks, Kevin. Yes, here are the fiscal year 2022 grant updates. The FY22 period is complete and all grants are ready to be closed out. The closeout process has been a challenge due to capacity issues, but more on that later. Many final payments coming out of the DC vendor portal system are delayed due to a system change and updates within the DC vendor portal. Next slide. Okay, thanks. Fiscal year 2023 grant updates. School year 2022 through 23 award notices have been made. School year grant agreements have been sent out. Full execution of all grant agreements is pending. Mandatory grantee meetings took place this week on Tuesday, November 15th and Wednesday, November 16th. Fiscal year 23 Safe Passage, Safe Block grant agreements have been fully executed, and many grantees, Safe Passage grantees have submitted initial invoices. About grant reviews, the OST's executive director is exploring a contractor who will be tasked with vetting and managing a dedicated pool of reviewers. Okay, and continuing on fiscal year 2023 grant updates with Summer Strong. The targeted rollout for the RFA is the end of November 2022. Programming will be from a holistic focus that will include academics, social emotional learning, health and wellness, among other things. This will be coordinated with DCPS summer school programming. Here are the anticipated summer 2023 Summer Strong competitions. There's to be a Summer Strong, which has a budget of 3.2 million. Summer Strong Coordinating Entity, which has a budget of 300,000. And Summer Strong Small Nonprofit with a budget of 400,000. If there's any, if any commissioners have anything quick to add on about the summer RFA priorities, please let us know. But keep in mind, we don't have a lot of time on this meeting as this is a lengthy presentation. And with that, if there's any feedback from anybody regarding the grant updates.
Heather?
Hi, yes, thank you for the report. I have a question about the delay in payments to the grantees. When will they receive payment? And then also will the delay affect the time period or the grant period? So will they delay kind of work performing on the grant?
So,
Yeah, go on, Dr. Lowe.
no, Katrina, go ahead.
Okay. But with my limited knowledge, we are working diligently with the accounting and stuff, but it has been delayed. But I would defer to Dr. Lowe. But but we have been working diligently. But I don't think it will affect the programming. But I will defer to Dr. Lowe on this.
So what I will say is that number one, we personally, the OST office, we do not control the speed at which they are paid. We do vet and verify that they are worthy of payment. And then once they are approved, DC Vendor Portal has about 30 days to process payment. If something is wrong in the system that they catch, the 30 days begins again. But what we are doing right now for fiscal year 22 specifically is literally processing all of the payments and sending them over for approval to be processed in the system. And then it is up to DC Vendor Portal to make sure that those payments are made within the 30-day window. So we cannot necessarily speak to the exact date or time it will be paid, but we do process them as quickly as we receive them to make sure that they get out as quickly as possible. It will not affect those who have fully executed grant agreements because this is a different fiscal year compared to fiscal year 22. Those are two separate, distinct things. And please correct me if I'm wrong, as I'm 3 months in, for those who have been here longer than I have been.
Okay, thank
But
you
that's
for
my
that
understanding.
explanation. I appreciate it.
The only thing I wanted to add was that I just noticed the coordinating entity and the small nonprofit amounts are actually flipped. The target is 400,000 for coordinating entity and 300,000 for small nonprofit. That will be corrected when we
Do the RFAs. Is there any feedback about anything we think we should be focusing on for summer RFAs? Or should we be concentrating on maybe, because we are targeted to distribute the RFA by the end of November. And so if there's any feedback, any thoughts that you want to share regarding RFA requisites, now will be the time to do that so that we can plug those thoughts in, if feasible, into our summer RFA before it rolls out.
So just one question, in regards to, and I guess this is for Deborah, I know we had spoke about specifically in the funding and capacity building subcommittee about potentially having priority points for specific genres. And I know Ms. Siegel, Commissioner Siegel isn't on, but I know like for LGBT communities, and it was a lot of different ideas thrown out there for priority points. Is that something that we're considering for this go round, or are there no priority points for at-risk or specific genres of groups of individuals of youth and children for this go round?
So the OST office always reserves the right to add priority points, but there is nothing specific listed for the Summer Strong 23 right now in the RFAs. It is just the general at-risk and general populations.
Okay, thank you.
Quick question about the coordinating entities for Summer Strong. That's Commissioner Hill. And thank you, Deborah, for that clarification. You're going to be flipping the 3K from this
Small nonprofits.
small nonprofits, flip it over. So what is the maximum for each organization to apply for?
I believe that it is going to be 25,000, of course, is the
25,000.
max for small
Mhm.
nonprofit. Coordinating entity is up to 100,000, and Summer Strong is up to 150, is what I've been told.
1,000. So, okay, I know traditionally there were mainly, I think, 4 coordinated entities previous years. Is that still the desire? I know that you did a great job with DCHA in naming certain properties or certain areas of interest and concern, as well as DHR, I believe it is. Are you still going to try to do a minimum of, I think it was 4, maybe even up to 6 at sometime before? Does that make sense?
Yes, it's DHS, and it is as many sites as they need. We are scheduling a meeting with both DHS and DCHA because the points of contact at each agency have changed, and they need to, of course, meet our new executive director, Dr. Lowe. So we have meetings scheduled, but in the last couple of years, they have not identified locations prior to the RFA being announced. They are just waiting for the applications to come in, and then they changed the model from the beginning, where they previously announced the location that they had to have services provided.
Thank you.
If there are no other questions about Summer Strong, we can move on. Oh, yes, Margaret?
Sorry, I had one question about the DC, the Housing Authority or DHS. Do you know if any of the grants might be used to support some of the, what they're referring to as migrant students who are coming by busloads from other parts of the country? Because they've been working to coordinate some of the housing issues for that population.
I don't know, but that's a great question and something we will add to our meeting with DHS.
Thanks.
There are no other questions. I think I'm next. Next slide, Alex. So we have had a couple of transitions on the team since our last meeting. Well, we've had one transition, sorry, is what I should say. Malik Lang, who was one of our grants management specialists, he transitioned out of the OST office on November 4th, 2022. And then Deborah, do you want to share? Or do you want me to share? I'll do it. Okay. So Deborah has made the decision to transition out of the OST office. Her last day will be on December 15th, 2022. She has been gracious enough to give us at least 2 to 3 months notice of her pending transition. And I do want to say thank you personally and on behalf of the team to you, Deborah, for your service, for the entire existence of our OST office. You will be sorely missed, as you are the backbone, as many have described you, of our work here within the OST office. So just a quick awareness for everyone. We've had one transition of our grants management specialist, and then Deborah will be transitioning on December 15th of this year in just under 1 month. Any words you want to say, Deborah, before I move on?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it all, and I am sure we are left in great hands, and I will miss you all as well.
Thank you for sharing, and we will be sorely missed. So with that said, there are probably a lot of questions. Can you, next slide, Alex? And so I want to be completely transparent with everyone here on the call. So you have I want to walk you through where we are as an office regarding our hiring. So prior to my tenure, we had 3 open positions in the office. Okay, go ahead to Sharna before I begin.
I'm sorry, just a question. I don't know if it's on everybody else's screen, but I can just still see the grant updates page, the first page. I don't know if it's
I
just
can
my
see
screen.
I can see the hiring. Anyone else? It should say OST office hiring. I can see
I see OST office hiring, but to Sharna, it happened to me the other day, and I clicked on an individual photograph or whatever, and then went back to the slide deck and it updated. So maybe that
Okay,
will work
let
for
me try
you.
that. Sorry about that.
No problem. So again, we wanted to walk you guys through where we are because there are a number of vacancies in the office, and I wanted you guys to know where we are at every stage of the process. So we had 3 open roles that have been vacant for about 3 months, and that's the grants management specialist, the resource allocation analyst, which is a new role, and then the data analyst. Most recently, we had the transition of Vania, who was a supervisory grants management specialist / interim ED. And then with Malik's transition, we now have an open role of a grants management specialist, which has been open for about less than 1 month. And then the pending for Deborah's role is going to be an upcoming vacancy. So in total right now, as you can see, we have 6 open positions on the OST office team, which is about half of our team. Next slide, Alex. And so I want to show you guys where we are with the hiring for each position. The first role that has been open for about just over 6 months, we are doing phone screening, sorry. Well, first it had to be processed, approved by DCHR, and that takes a significant amount of time. But we finally gotten the ball rolling and created some urgency within the DCHR office to get these positions out and posted. It was posted, the posting closed. We are doing phone screenings. We got a list of eligible candidates, and now we have phone screening scheduled for the week of November 20th, which is next week. The next steps after that will be a panel interview, and this is the DME's way of conducting the hiring. So it's the phone screening next week, panel interviews the following week, one-on-one with me as OST ED the week of December 4th, and then one-on-one with Deputy Mayor Kine the week of December 11th. If all things go according to plan, we know that holidays can kind of throw a wrench in some things. Our goal is to have a decision by December 16th and an early ideal January start date. That is for the grants management specialist role that has been open for quite some time. The next role, next slide, Alex, is a resource allocation analyst. That has also been open for about 6 months as well. Phone screenings will also be this coming week as well. And the same timeline for a decision with the panel interview with the team, one-on-one with me, and then one-on-one with Deputy Mayor Kine. The target is to have a decision made by December 16th for that position. Next slide. We then have the data analyst role that has been open for quite some time as well. Those phone screenings occurred last week. The next step is our panel interviews, which will occur this week that is coming. We know that Thanksgiving break is coming up. Then we have the one-on-one with me, and then one-on-one with Deputy Mayor Kine, with the ultimate target date of December 11 being a decision being made. The next position is supervisory grants management specialist, which has been vacant for just under 2 months. Phone screenings occurred on the week of November 7th. The next step will be a panel interview this coming week with the team, then a one-on-one with me, and then with Deputy Mayor Kine. We hope to make a decision by December 11th. The next role is, well, the last 2 roles, sorry, are the 2 most recent roles. The 2 grants management specialists, which are Deborah and Malik's roles. We are awaiting DCHR to post those 2 roles, and they will have to be open for a minimum of 2 weeks before we can consider anyone for those positions. And so I'm constantly asking, are they posted yet? Are they posted yet? Because we are severely understaffed. And so once those 2 roles are posted, they will be open for 2 weeks. And then once those 2 weeks close, then we will begin the phone screening, panel, one-on-one with me, and one-on-one with Paul before we make a final decision. So that is where we are regarding our hiring. A small but mighty team, and we are trying our best to stay afloat whilst also vetting and deciding on who to move forward in the process for our 6 open positions, with 2 of them not being posted as yet formally to the public. Any questions before I move on to the next slide? So bear with us. I wanted to give you guys a full, oh, go ahead. Yep.
Sorry, I did have one question. Just wondering, with all of the transition on the team, does the District of Columbia government provide any special training for people in the role of grants management specialist? I mean, just really in sort of a deep dive in how to do the grants management, or is that something that, you'll be trying to train these individuals within the team?
We do look for people who've had prior experience either managing grants as a grantee or being on the other side as a grantor. So we do look, well, for me personally, as the one who does the initial vetting of the applicants, that is what I'm looking for those who move forward to the phone screening, are individuals who have some kind of program and or grant management experience, whether it is the reporting, invoicing side, or the one who's making a decision on who gets awarded funding or not. But to my knowledge, there isn't any formal training, and please correct me if I'm inaccurate in saying this, to train individuals specifically on grants management. And yes, it's very challenging, but we're trying our best. Okay, if there are no other questions around that. Do you want us to share the positions with you? We usually post them in our Learn 24 newsletter for sure. That they definitely go into that so that all of our stakeholders can be made aware of when they're posted and when they're also closing as well. And we haven't had a shortage of applicants at all. A lot to choose from, but hopefully we can make some good decisions, and then hopefully our offers are accepted and we have some good people coming onto our team. If there are no,
Yeah, I mean, if we could be helpful, I mean, if you think it's helpful, I'm happy to share it on LinkedIn and pass vacancy listings out. But if you guys are getting a ton of applications already, maybe it's not needed. But it does sound like you need some extra help on there.
Well, we do. That's not an understatement. Any other questions before we move on? And so the 2 pending roles, just to be clear, are 2 grants management specialist positions that have not been posted as yet. We are waiting on DCHR to post them so we can get it out there, get it posted for 2 weeks minimum, and then begin the hiring vetting process for those specific roles. So 4 have been posted and they have closed, and then 2 are pending posting, and those are the 2 grants management specialist positions. So I say all that to say that we are few, but managing a lot, and we hope that our partners, grantees, can give us some grace as we navigate this transition into a newly designed and new staffed office as well. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. Any other questions? Now we will have some commission updates. I will share the first portion of it, and then I'll have you, Commissioner Holland, to do the last one for us. So I wanted to make everyone aware that Jason Spector, he was on the Outcomes and Needs Assessment Committee, has decided not to renew his tenure with the OST Commission, but he will see the Outcomes and Needs Assessment Committee through to the completion of the needs assessment. I want to publicly say, though he's not here, thank you to Jason in his absence for his service to the OST Commission. Also, it was shared by MODA, by our contact there, that there's a temporary hold on board recruitment. I will confirm term dates with MODA and follow with the commission on the findings from regarding the term dates, to also verify term dates and get additional information and clarification from MODA on when terms are up and who will be filling them where applicable. The last thing I wanted to say before I hand it over to Commissioner Holland is that Lisa Weiner has decided to step down from the Outcomes and Needs Assessment Committee for personal reasons. If there's anyone who's interested, or if you know someone interested to in joining the Outcomes and Needs Assessment Committee, please share it with me, and we can have a conversation around that. But Chair Holland, you can share if you feel inclined.
Tim, news, is that what you're referencing, or are you talking about the needs assessment?
Sorry, repeat that.
You talking about my news?
Yes,
Or
your news.
yes.
Your news.
Yeah. So, as you guys can probably gather from me fumbling this exchange, but I have my term is up as my second term is up, serving on the commission, and after thinking it through with my family, I actually have decided not to pursue another term, just simply because of what's on my plate in my life right now. But it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with each and every one of you. Some of you I've been serving with for 5 years now, which is, a significant amount of time, especially when you add in those pandemic years that, we're just complex and wild, but all of you have been just awesome colleagues and public servants trying to, make sure that the city works better for young people, and that's what this is all about. And I'm sad not to continue on this journey with you in this formal role, but I certainly will be somebody that you can count on and connect with, and collaborate with on things as time continues to unfold, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be in DC. I'm still going to be doing work on behalf of young people as I can. But thank you all, and I'm sad to leave the team, but it's a decision I had to make. So.
Thank you so much for your service. We definitely do appreciate you here at the OST office and also the OST Commission. Now I will pass it over to Co-Chair Peacock for the appointment of committee members.
Okay, well, before I start, once again, Co-Chairman Holland, thank you again for all your excellent work and service over the years. We really appreciate you. You will be greatly missed. Deborah, you too, thank you so much for everything that you do for us and have done for us. You've been a tremendous contribution to this entire effort since its inception. So, you both will be missed for sure. Now, regarding the next updates, we have the appointment of new committee members. There's also a quick note on December 8th, there will be an OST Commission special meeting. This meeting is focused specifically on the needs assessment, and this should be on everyone's calendars. If you did not receive an invite for that, please let Alex or Dr. Lowe know so that we can get you that calendar invitation, because that one's really important. Beyond that, the OST office has received nominations for community members and stakeholders interested in OST Commission committees. Names have been provided from funding and capacity building, as well as from the Quality Committee. Are there any other committee members with other names to nominate? And if so, please let us know, because we'd love to have them. Okay, gotcha. Sounds good. Moving forward, we will work to approve any new committee members on a quarterly basis. They will all be appointed committee members. Now, the current list of nominees and the responding committees are Funding and Capacity Building Committee. They have put forth 7 nominees, including Kelly Quinn, Vera Ya Anna, Andrew Lee, Jackie Carter, John Campbell, Kendall Bryan, and Nicole Newman. Regarding the Quality Committee, the new committee member for the Quality Committee is Peter Gutmacher, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Please welcome the new members of the Funding and Capacity Building Committee as well, and the Quality Committee. And thank you for bringing forth those nominees. We're definitely looking forward to having each of them help serve us in our mission for the city. The next item on the agenda is the strategic plan update. It looks like Dr. Lowe, I'll be passing it back over to you.
Yes, thank you so much for
Thank you.
that. So as a quick awareness for everyone, we are required to update the strategic plan every 3 years, which ends this year. The Commission has confirmed that the 4 priorities will stay the same, which are funding and capacity building, outcomes and needs assessment, quality, and coordination and collaboration. This slide is solely a reminder that a strategic plan has been pushed for the completion to January 2023 to support additional community engagement opportunities, for example, the needs assessment. Next slide, please, Alex. This slide, please take a moment, everyone, to read through, but this represents the proposed and updated timeline for 2023 in consideration of where we are in the process for the strategic plan. The goal is to have the final vote and approval of the updated 3-year plan by July 2023. If sooner, we will need to have special and shortened, I'll say that, meetings with public notice focused specifically on the strategic plan. So as you can see, right now we are in November 2022. We are going to discuss it today and then have subsequent updates based on the needs assessment, because we will have a presentation in December by the DC Policy Center with updates to the strategic plan occurring prior to our January 26th, 2023 Commission meeting. And then we have the dates in 2023 as well for the strategic plan, where we must have public commentary for 2 meeting cycles, and then it can go for final vote from the OST Commission. Any questions before I continue on and share out the calendar dates for 2023? Great, thank you guys so much. So the next slide. Thank you, Alex. These are the calendar dates for Walter, I'm passing it to you. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay, no problem. I was going to let you guys seem like you know what you're doing, so it's all good. Regarding the 2023 calendar dates, the December 8th meeting will be an OST Commission special meeting. This meeting is focused specifically on the needs assessment, as we'd mentioned, and if you did not receive that invite, once again, please let Alex or Dr. Lowe know so that we can get you that. The remaining dates listed are the dates for our 2023 Commission meetings. We will have the updated strategic plan shared out shortly, after which the question will be, should we consider special meetings, which would be shortened, or considering the strategic plan's formal approval that is stated for July the 23rd. So if anyone would like to have special meetings for that, let us know. We can have some discussion on it, or we can continue to proceed as normal. Okay.
So now
All right. Good.
So now we will have a share out regarding the strategic plan for each strategy, so to speak. First, we have funding and capacity building. I can share it out, but if someone on that team feels inclined to update the commission on where they are, please feel free to do so. If not, I can go ahead and give the summation based on what was shared with me.
You can proceed, Dr. Rowe. Go right ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. So funding and capacity building, one of the objectives is to support OST nonprofits with the capacity building. Strategies include refining and enhancing the domains of capacity building, enhancing targeted support to small nonprofits so they can ideally attain additional funding, and organizational capacity building, continued support for nonprofits, and then using data to identify supports and to measure success. Next slide, please. Another objective for the committee is focusing on equity and distribution of funds to organizations who serve at-risk youth and other special populations. The strategy being used is to refine funding priorities to promote equity, and then also focusing on youth most in need who do not have access to programs, and then also improving the grants application process. Next, thank you. For the quality team, anyone on that team wants to share out their updated plan, or do you want me to do that for you as well? And I'm fine either way.
Dr. Lowe, you can report on it, although I believe that in our previous work on the plan, we already eliminated this first one since that work had been accomplished and voted on by the commission. The definition of the quality statement.
Okay. Skip that. Thank you for that, awareness. Skip the slide, Alex. And please let me know if anything that is included needs to be removed. So one is establishing a youth assessor core. Strategy is using the white card assessment and model to establish youth as assessors, and then using videos to capture as part of the feedback loop for youth development practitioners. Next slide. Supporting organizations to improve the quality of the program and build organizational capacity by way of supporting providers in implementing program quality, supporting organizations with capacity building, sharing best practices and resources for youth development practitioners, and then supporting partnerships across organizations and agencies. Next slide. Supporting practitioners is another objective with their skill development by way of increasing the skills of practitioners and then developing career pathways for them as well. Next. Outcomes. Right now it's Bernal and myself. Do you want to share with Bernal, or do you want me to do that? No, it's your last meeting.
Yeah.
I can probably do it.
I think you got it, but
Okay, no
it's all
problem.
pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of our objectives is to define and support systems level outcomes by way of aligning citywide goals, supporting agencies in measuring outcomes, and then tracking and supporting citywide outcomes. Next. Also define and supporting organizational outcomes by way of providing support to organizations to measure their goals, collecting information on the organizations, and then aligning with the funding and capacity building committee. Next. Another objective for us is to define and support program level outcomes by way of supporting the tracking of program outcomes, and then also supporting programs with defining their outputs and their outcomes. Next. The other objective is reviewing data from the needs assessment and then focusing on reducing the gap and ensuring equity by identifying and elevating those gaps so that they can be addressed because we know what those gaps are. And then setting goals for the OST Commission is another strategy. Anyone on coordination and collaboration would like to share out, or should I do that? Should I run with it? Okay, so I'll run with it, barring any other commentary. So one objective is to support agency and nonprofit operations, identify processes and strategies to reduce duplication of efforts amongst DC agencies and organizations by way of partnership application mapping, streamline funding processes across government agencies, applying through reporting, and then review and improving process requirements. Next slide. Additionally, supporting strong cross-sector partnerships by supporting partnerships among all OST stakeholders and users. And we will do that through supporting strong cross-sector partnerships, defining and strengthening OST partnerships between agencies as much as possible, and also by engaging our families. Another objective is increasing district-wide coordination by developing district-wide OST schedules and programs to ensure equitable access focused on reaching youth who are considered at risk. And we do this by creating support for common program structure and services, considering transportation solutions because we know it has been a problem and a challenge, and then examining the facility usage requirements with an eye for streamlining access to those facilities. Next. So for 2023, excuse me one second. So Walter, I'll pass it over to you for this update.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry, going back up.
And this is
Okay.
where we'll be seeking you all's input, so please take note as Walter shares with us.
Right, so once again, just increasing district-wide coordination, developing district-wide OST schedule, things we'd mentioned earlier, on the next aspect of it. Those are really the updates for each objective and the accompanying strategies for that strategic plan. So we also have the timeline and upcoming meeting dates listed for 2023. Does this timeline that we've shared work for everyone? And if not, does anyone have any recommendations of an updated timeline or any updates on anything that's been discussed regarding the strategic plan and its approval as it relates to public commentary for that strategic plan?
Commissioner Barkey, just a note that
Sure.
this last summer, we seem to have very low availability for summertime meetings. So I'm a little bit concerned about the July 27th final
Okay.
vote. I think we just, those of us who are still involved on the commission will need to really be committed to being present for that meeting if that's going to be accomplished.
That's a very good point. Thank you for sharing that. Do you think we should, one thing we'd mentioned earlier was the option to add additional condensed meetings to help with that. Would you prefer to do that or to move the meeting itself? What options would you like to discuss?
I just wonder if maybe at the May meeting, we should consider the option of having a meeting in June
Okay.
when people, expressly for the purpose of a final vote or something to that effect, so that if it appears that people will be absent in July, that we factor that in.
Okay, that's an excellent point. Thank you. Okay. Does anyone else have any feedback, questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Well, again, thank you, Commissioner Berkey, for pointing that out. I think that's a good idea as well. Now, the next item are the committee updates. So we're going to go over the updates for funding capacity, outcomes and needs assessment, quality, coordination, collaboration. Let's see. So for the first update, outcomes and needs assessment, Dr. Lowe, are you ready to provide us with that update?
Sure.
Thank you.
So we are looking for committee members. So if you know anyone that's interested in the Outcomes and Needs Assessment Committee, please share their names with me. I noticed someone mentioned interest in something in the chat, but I wasn't monitoring it, but we will take note of that. But if you are interested or know someone who is for the Outcomes and Needs Assessment Committee, please let me know. Additionally, we are slated and on track, knock on wood, to have the DC Policy Center, present to us at our December 8th meeting. They are more or less complete with the data collection process, and now they're compiling and crunching and analyzing the data so that they can have a solid work product and output to share with us in our December 8th meeting. They have met with parents, focus groups as well, to make sure that they have useful information to push from grantees, have gotten the survey. And so far, we meet with them bi-weekly to get a status update on the progress of the needs assessment. And right now, we've had a really, really great response according to the DC Policy Center. And I'm looking forward to hearing what they have discovered as a result of their data collection in our December 8th meeting. So those are the two primary things I wanted to share. One is that if anyone is interested in being a part of our committee, to please share that, given Commissioner Spector's transition. But then also we are slated to have an update on the needs assessment at our December 8th meeting. So please be here for that meeting so we can hope that, and that ideally will inform, if needed, the content of our strategic plan, barring anything else, and unless I'm missing anything. And of course, we know that Co-Chair Holland is transitioning and he will be sorely missed, but we do appreciate his service to the OST Commission.
Definitely, and thank you for that wonderful update. Commissioner Hill, are you ready to provide us with the funding and capacity building update?
Yes, sir, Chairperson. Along with our co-chair, Commissioner Crump, and my hat goes out to our co-chair person of the committee, Person Holland, 5 years, man, that's significant, man. Big dog. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. 5 years commitment. I just think that that's essential in terms of the length of service. People that usually don't serve that long, so my hat goes out to you. And just, of course, I'd be remiss not to mention our committee, government representative from the OST office, Deborah, who has helped to guide us for many years on our subcommittees. And she also has served as our grant manager and was always concerned about resolutions and dealing with issues and difficult issues where we work in some of the communities that we serve. So yes, Deborah, God bless you and your family. And we pray that your next levels and next steps in life are successful as well. Again, we're happy to share just a little bit. Commissioner Crump is here and certainly will be able to add on as I conclude just a very few updates. We're really, really excited during this transitional time with this so much going on in our committees as well as within the OST office. The government is in transition with the new administration coming forward. Well, not a new administration, but a new administration period with the mayor and all. We have 7 or what I think it's 8 new committee members to join the funding and capacity building. And we're just really excited. Commissioner Crump really did a great job in the recruiting. See, she does all the work. All I do is report out on it. So, she did a great job again in recruiting. So we'll be meeting with those new representatives. We'll be sending out an official letter or email or just some accolades and inviting them in after this meeting concludes, because obviously they have been officially in now through Dr. Lowe and through our chairperson as well. So we're excited about that. Our next committee meeting will be Monday, November the 21st. And we will continue to dig in on our strategic plan. And that concludes my update. And Commissioner Crump is still on the line if she wanted to add in.
The only thing I wanted to say is that is not true, Gary. Like, I don't know what we're going to do without missing a component of our dream team. So I just want to say, Deborah, we're going to miss you so much. Like, it's been awesome working with you. And yeah, that's all. But get Commissioner Hill, I'm calling him Gary, knows that like we all work in conjunction together. So you are sorely gonna be missed. And just thank you for your service, truly, from the very beginning. Like, thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you for the excellent work. That does sound very exciting, all that you guys are both doing, especially all the new committee members. That's really wonderful. So thank you for the great work. Please keep that up. 7, 8 members, that's a pretty big jump in a short time span. So you guys definitely been busy. So thank you. Next, for the quality committee, Kevin, are you ready to provide us with those updates?
I'm going to pass that to Commissioner Berkey.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Yes, we had a meeting this week, actually. We met on Tuesday, and we were pleased to welcome our new member, who many people will remember as someone involved long ago with the DC Trust, and then in the early years when we got started with the OST office. So having Peter Gutmacher back involved, who's really dedicated to the impact of training on producing quality outcomes is important to the thinking and the work of the group. I'm glad to have him back. We would love to see other commissioners participate in our meetings. I tend to be the only commissioner present with other committee members there who are not actual commissioners. So those of you who are part of the officially sort of named as members of the committee, we'd love to have you come to the next meeting, which will be held on December 13th from 10:30 to 11:30. And Kevin has already sent out the invitation. This is a different time than we usually meet, so that we will hopefully be able to capture people who might have a conflict with the usual time, which is around 1 to 2. We want at that time to look at the needs assessment report, so that we can see whether any of the new information impacts the work that we've already done on the strategic plan. But we also, at this past meeting, were able to have a nice presentation from Renee Abdullah and Kevin Cataldo on the results of the YCART assessments that were done in 18 sites this past school year, I guess. And yeah, Kevin is nodding his head. Yes, school year. So these were done partially virtually by the external assessors and sometimes in person, generally in person by the organizational representatives who did the internal assessment. And it was interesting to see where the scoring was consistent across measures, and where sometimes the internal assessments were a little bit harder on themselves than the external assessors, but bearing in mind that both when observing the any kind of programming using the school age quality assessment or the youth program quality assessment, each entity is looking at one time, one session, one spot, and so the snapshots that you might capture could easily be different from one day and one group to the next. But it was still interesting to have that data, and what we wish we were able to do was to provide a more longitudinal view of whether the city as a whole is seeing program quality improvement as a result of the training and the work on this quality assessment measure. But at the moment, it was essentially a restart last year after the interrupted years of the pandemic. So I think we're back at kind of year one in looking at how those measures change over time and whether we see any measurable improvement in youth engagement and program quality, program safety, all of those aspects of it. But good to have the report from the office. And that's it. That's my update. So we welcome anybody to join us at our December 13th meeting, 10:30 to 11:30.
Excellent. Thank you for that update and for the great work. And thank you again for bringing us new committee members. That's wonderful. Really glad to hear that. Next, for the Coordination and Collaboration Committee, Commissioner Siegel, are you ready to provide us with those updates?
Commissioner Siegel's not here.
Gotcha. Thank you for the reminder.
Trying to fill the gap.
Thank you.
So currently we actually did not have a meeting recently, but we will be having a meeting scheduled now that the that the needs assessment is going to be completed, as well as provided put on at the December 8th meeting. So we'll be scheduling a meeting following that, just so we can talk about it, because we did put our stuff on hold, put a little bit of our stuff on hold to discuss how we were going to move forward following what was going to be addressed in the needs assessment, and so that can inform our decisions and how we move forward with the Coordination and Collaboration Committee. So we will be meeting in December, but as it seems like a lot of other committees are accepting applications and accepting opportunities for new committee members to join our Coordination and Collaboration Committee as we continue to work to better support our kids in the city.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate the update. Sounds good. Definitely looking forward to that next meeting. Other than that, the primary update is that although we've had many new committee members, and that's wonderful progress, once again, as always, we are also still looking for new committee members for the outcomes and needs assessment, as well as the coordination and collaboration committees. So please continue sharing this opportunity with your networks. We're really glad to hear about the progress and the new members that we've had. So let's try to continue that momentum with these other committees. Now, for the next commission meeting, we are meeting on December 8th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Once again, these commission meetings will remain virtual unless anyone has any concerns about this, and unless otherwise stated by the DC government. So if anyone does have any concerns about the virtual meetings or problems with them, please let us know so that we can address that and be fair to everyone. Looks like Commissioner Peeler was also asking if there's a description of each committee that we could share with our networks.
I'm not sure if there's one. If not, we could get you one.
Okay, thank you.
um,
Sounds good.
To make that happen.
There we go. Yeah, looks like Alex just sent that over. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, great. Well, that's all I had on my end. Commissioners, does anyone have any additional business or comments to make before we adjourn? Okay, well, before we do adjourn, I just wanted to say once again, Deborah, thank you so much for everything you've done over the years. I know you've helped me tremendously. I couldn't do these meetings without you all this time. So you've really been great shaping this commission and the committees. You will be deeply, deeply missed. Co-Chairman Holland, you as well. Thank you again for all your excellent service. Again, you've been with us from the beginning, so sorry to see your email that you are stepping down, but I know it's for a good purpose and for your family. So thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
No problem. No problem. Well, with that, commissioners, is there any other business or comments that you'd like to make? Or if not, can we get a motion to adjourn?
I will do you the final gift of motioning to adjourn.
Thank you, Co-Chairman Holland. Thank
And
you,
I'm
thank
happy
you.
to second it, Commissioner
right.
Berkey.
Thank you, Commissioner Berkey. Let's see. Okay, once again, we'll do this one in roll call. Commissioner Berkey,
Approve.
thank you. Commissioner Coates,
Approve.
thank you. Commissioner Crump,
Approved.
thank you. Commissioner Desir,
Approved.
thank you. Commissioner Hill,
Approved.
thank you. Co-Chairman Holland,
Approved.
thank you. Commissioner Jenkins,
Approve.
thank you. And I approve. Commissioner Peeler,
Approve.
thank you. Commissioner Safran,
Approved.
thank you. Okay, the motion to adjourn unanimously is approved. So thank you again, everyone, for the great work and the great meeting today. Really excited to hear about all the progress and all the new committee members. So thank you. Let's continue this momentum and looking forward to meeting with you all again on the 8th.
Good night.
Thank you to
Okay.
you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, everyone. $7:20, yeah, 7:20.
I wish it could be Oprah.